So we've got Tom with us today for Meet the Music. Hello, Tom.
Hey Emma, how's it going?
All is well, all is good. We're just trying to think of ways to keep stuff going during lockdown, and you were kind enough to offer your time to us today, which is really, really cool of you to do that. So
Here
thank
it is. Here is some of my time. Thank you for taking it. I've got loads of it at the moment.
you. Awesome. Right, so we've been starting all of our Meet the Music sessions with the guest telling us kind of where music started for them. So do you want to kind of tell us from the beginning where
From,
music started
from
for
the
you?
beginning, well,
From
I
the beginning.
suppose I was a baby, and then I like aged consecutively in years.
Yeah.
When I was really young, I got strangely, like, weird obsessed with Freddie Mercury as a kid. And like I used to go to school dressed in like the yellow jacket with a mustache drawn, severely bullied for that. But I was just like I think I'd seen Queen live at Wembley on video, and it was just like, oh my god, I want to do that. Like that is what I want to do. I want to the front of band. I want to get people going. So that it was that really that was my introduction into music, and I was really into what Brian May was doing on the guitar. So I was just like Queen was the thing really.
Yeah.
And then later I discovered like Oasis when I was a little bit older, and I was like, oh, but this is cool as well. It's got attitude. And then further down the line, like Nirvana, and I was like, oh, and you can really say cool things as well. And then the Smiths were a big thing for me. And then it was like, and you can actually be quite poetic. So I think those kind of ingredients made me as a musician. Queen, Oasis, Nirvana, and the Smiths
Oh, wow.
in a soup.
A great combination. So when did you kind of start on your own? Were you like writing songs just or did you have like someone at the time? I know you're in a band now and you guys have been performing together for a long time. But was it always like a band thing, or did you write a lot on your own and then go?
I always wanted to be in a band. Like that was always my dream. Like ever since seeing those videos, like that was my dream, which is kind of weird because I do it. But yeah, so like the way I started literally playing is I wanted to play. I was like the first year of high school, and I was showing interest in wanting to play, and I've been mithering my mum for years to get me a guitar, but she never did. And like I said to my music teacher, I really want to play. And he just grabbed a school bass guitar and kind of threw it at me and was like, right, well, you're in the school jazz band. And I was like, I literally can't play a note. And he was like, take it home. Your first rehearsal's next week. And he kind of forced me. And I was really scared that I was going to be rubbish. So I went home and I learned to play bass guitar. Like I just taught myself how to play. And then I just kept going each week and getting a little bit better. And I was teaching myself guitar at the same time as well. And it kind of just all came together quite quick. And then I had some mates that were into music, and we started our first band then. And it was awful. And I've still got like recordings of it. But yeah, it's what I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, be in a band.
Yeah.
No, it's great, and we've got a lot of young people that are probably the similar age to what you were when you kind of started getting into it, like 50.
Yeah, something like that.
And I think sometimes the thought of getting a band together and stuff can be quite kind of intimidating and a bit like, especially if you're someone that maybe writes your songs so like on your own and in your own little world.
Well, I still do that now. I still write my songs on my own, and it's still scary to take it to the band, to the rehearsal room, even though it's like my family, and I spend all my time with the other members of the band. It's still like it's a vulnerable situation to take something that you've created and bring it to a room of people where it can be judged. Like I think that's a scary thing to do even still, even though I know I'm a genius.
Yeah, it's like you're sharing a little bit of yourself with people. You are putting yourself up there for someone to go, that's rubbish.
Yeah, you are. It's a very vulnerable situation.
Yeah, definitely. But I definitely encourage young people to get into, like, even if it's just collaborating with another person, sometimes that can kind of help, can't it, with writing and creating.
100%, yeah. Write and play with as many people as you can, because there's always something to steal. Like I go to so many like jam nights and open mic nights and things like that, and all my mates are musicians. I love playing with them all because I'm always lifting little licks off them and just borrowing as much as I can.
So I've got a couple of questions about the kind of creative process of stuff that you do, which
Okay.
is nice from what you just said. So what is the process of you writing a song? Are you always thinking about music, or is it kind of, because we've had a lot of these sessions with people meet the music where some people have said that they will not write a song, write anything until they feel inspired to write a song, and some people that say that they write all the time, constantly, all the time, and then we'll just be writing little songs as they go. So what's kind of, how do you work?
I cannot stop thinking about it.
Right.
It's a problem, really. Like, I can't chill. I've got no chill.
Right.
I'm just constantly thinking about it. With like, so a big part of my job and income is writing music for like TV and adverts and stuff like that. So even if it's not something that I'm going to be doing for lottery winners or my own stuff, I can come up with an idea and then just lay it down. And I've got like other channels for it to go out, so I'm constantly coming up with ideas all the time. But lottery winner songs take a little longer to write because with them I have to truly feel it and believe it, and it needs to be more like sentimental. But like if I'm just writing a tune for a car advert, then constantly I can turn them out. Especially now we're kind of locked down. I've just found like I don't. Obviously, this is a horrible situation we're all in. It really, really is, and there isn't a silver lining. But if there was, it's that it's given us creative types all space and time to just breathe, absorb some good records, some good films, and just like create. And I've been creating something every day. I've not been going to bed each night until I've made something, which I've been really enjoying. The days are flying.
Oh wow. Well, that's something that I'll maybe suggest people that are watching this when we put it on. Maybe creating something every day is kind of a good goal to have.
Yeah, even if it's something small, I've been making a video or writing a riff or just making something each day.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you feel like you've achieved something.
Yeah, I guess these days can kind of mash up into like nothingness, can't they? And you just wake up, do something happen, Netflix is on for about 5 hours of the day.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't sit there for long enough. I think I've got a problem. Like I can't sit in front of the telly for more than an hour. I just get fidgety. So I need to go and do something.
Yeah. Cool. That's going to be really cool. I'm going to see if any of them actually go ahead and do that and create something every day. That's really a really good bit of advice. So do you find with the lottery winners stuff then, do you do like lyrics first? Is it like a chord progression? Is it a melody?
Usually with lottery winners stuff, it is lyrics. Like I'll get a line or I'll think of a line, and then I see it as like a family tree kind of thing. So I'm really strange, but like that's the image of it in my head. So I get like the line and that's in the middle, and then all these branches come off it, and there's like different places it can go. And then I go down a branch, and then branches come off that, and then that's how I write all the words in my head. I never write them down.
Oh, really?
I write the full song. Well, one time I wrote I got about 3/4 of the way through a novel on a computer, which I was only young, maybe 18, and I spent a lot of time on it. And then the laptop died, and I lost the whole thing. Like it just died, and there was no way of getting it back. So I was just like, everything is just in there now. Because you can't lose it, so I don't really write lyrics down.
Really? So you just keep them all in your head?
I just keep them in my head, yeah.
How's that gone? Wow. And you find you remember every single part of it, and
well, if it's not worth remembering, then it's not good enough to be in the song.
This is true. Wow, that's really. I wish I could do that. I have to write. I've got like little I go to TK Maxx a lot and spend a lot of time looking at the books. Oh my god, I am.
There are some nice ones. I do have some nice writing books. They're just empty. There's a Louis Vuitton. Look how cool this writing book is. I need to put some words in it.
Oh yeah, do it. Show me it. I'm obsessed.
If you're into writing books, how pretty is this one?
Oh, I love it. Is it
I
like
need to write something in it.
Love it. Yeah, I spend way too much time in that section at TK Maxx. I've got like one that's got like a silver leather, and it's got like loads of little indents with like little patterns all over it. I just sit and look at it sometimes. It's almost too good to write in.
That's my problem. The books are so pretty. I don't want to ruin them with my childish scrawlings.
Well, it's just, I think as well, it's like, I kind of don't want to waste the pages in them because they're so nice.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah.
That's why it doesn't work for me. I just keep it in my head.
Wow. That's I've never heard anyone say that. They like write a whole song, lyrics, everything in their head. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
all the time. Yeah.
Wow. So do you find that you have like anything that inspires you for lottery winners stuff? Do you have like who are like your biggest inspirations for that music that you create?
That's a good question. I suppose like specifically musically, I'm into a lot of like Britpop and music from like indie music from the 90s and the Smiths and bands like that. But in terms of like subject matter or lyrically, that's just life. It's just like whatever. If something happens to me, I usually think of a line and I think that was clever. I'll say something and go, that was a clever thing. And then I remember it and do my little branches off it.
Right.
And then you got to colour it in, and the music's the colour.
I love that visual kind of tree.
Well, when I listen to music, it's like colours for me.
Right.
So.
Who says that? Is that Billie Eilish also? I've seen an interview with her.
It's called synesthesia.
Right.
I don't think I've got it as strong. Like Tom York from Radiohead reckons he can like literally see, but I like sense colours. So if I'm like producing someone or if we're in the studio and like it's got to end up the right colour. Sometimes it's all brown and it can't be brown. Like it's got to be yellow and purple.
Really? So you see that changing, like evolving as a colour then?
Yeah. I'm strange.
And you know what to do to make it a certain colour or to make it.
Yeah, you just got to add some yellow in.
That is so cool. This song is orange. Can it be orange?
It can be orange. I've got an orange song. Young Again, our last song on our album, is orange.
Which one, sorry?
Young Again, which is the last song on our album. This album, I've always got one to hand.
Me too.
That's it. Hey! That's orange.
So that's an orange song?
Yeah.
Right. And what does orange mean to you then in terms of?
It doesn't really correlate with like autumnal or warmth or anything like that. They don't really correlate the colours to like, I don't know, it's just whatever colour I get. And it's like a code chart that I understand only.
No, that's really cool.
No, I'm really strange. I should keep all this to myself. Like I should just like.
No, you should not at all, because somebody watching it might go, oh, me too.
I so.
I'm fascinated by it. For me, it's more just like I write all the time. In all my little books, I quite like writing. It sounds so annoying to say like spoken wordy stuff, but
yeah,
I love writing stuff like that. So they're not necessarily songs, but that's my way of being. I constantly do that all the time. And there might be something that I write and I go, oh, that could be, a song or a chorus.
Do you turn them into songs? Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, but I watch all those like have you heard of like button poetry?
I'm not cool enough.
It's people that are like spoken word artists, and they get up and they do all like the dramatic telling of the poem.
Yeah.
There was a guy that was going around doing one about OCD, and he kind of was telling this spoken word piece about him and his struggles with it, and it was so powerful to watch it. I don't know whether I could ever get up, stand and perform like a spoken word piece.
You should do it. Set a challenge.
Oh, I don't know if I've got the what's the word? The like serious, like it's kind of like acting, isn't it? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, they're always really intense about it.
Powerful stuff, but that's my kind of process.
Yeah, no, it's good. Like, yeah, I'm into that too. I think any kind of expression, especially like through words, I'm really into. So.
Yeah, definitely. Right, cool. Got some great stuff there. Oh, one question somebody's asked, which is quite a one that we kind of talk about quite a bit at Soundwave and kind of debate about. Someone's put, is music theory everything? It's a hard one.
I taught myself how to play, and through what sounded good with my ear, and I never picked up a book. And although I've come to learn it through playing, I don't think that for me music's not academic as such. It's an art.
Yeah.
And although technique is is a thing. It's a big question, I suppose, but I don't feel like having a degree in music makes you a better player just because you know what Dorian scale is. Like, you can, some of my mates are absolute idiots and the best players that I know, and it's just from playing and experience and feeling the music. But
Yeah.
I don't know, who am I to say?
Well, it's a tough one because I think when you go into like, because some of our young people apply to go to university to study music or to college or whatever, and sometimes people are like, you've got to have your grade 5 and your top of your
Yeah,
stuff, and can kind of, I know myself the same as you. It's like music theory was never something, wasn't part of the puzzle. It was just, I like writing songs. I liked singing.
yeah,
I just, if it sounded nice, people were like, what's that chord that you're playing, when I was like 16, 17? And I'd be like, I don't know. It's just
yeah, same.
nice, you know. And I
It's
think a
more
lot of,
about experimenting, isn't it, for me?
yeah,
And like,
yeah. I think some people can make you feel a bit like lesser for not knowing it, all of that stuff. I think it's important to know a lot of that, obviously, if you
is
want to.
it? So it can be, I suppose. It depends what you want. If you want to be a classical pianist, then you might have to know it. But I haven't got any grades,
Yeah,
and my album was in the charts.
exactly.
So there you go.
Yeah. So there's your answer, whoever asked that question. Right. So these ones are more into like bandy questions. Um, what's the best bit about being in a band?
The family that I've got from it, just
Yes.
the other three, and I always feel like no matter what happens, we're always together, and I feel like that is the best.
Yeah. Oh wow, what a lovely answer. Well, the sense of like community that you can call on them and you're there for each other and stuff.
Yeah, it literally is my family, the lottery winners. So yeah, it's nice, and you get to experience loads of cool things together. Like the first time you get to play abroad, or the first time you play to 1,000 people or 10,000 people. It's just like, you're there together, and from the start of the journey until where you are, and it's really nice to experience that.
Wow, that's lovely. Um, so what do you think in terms? This is more like, that's a question for me, from me. Because I remember watching you guys when I was like maybe 16, 15, 16. And it was in that, where was it at? It was in that place in Whitehaven, which was turned into a stage, but it was like a car.
Oh yeah, it was a bike shop, wasn't it?
That was it, the bike thing. And I remember watching you guys and just being like, these lot are absolutely out of this world. You were so like inspiring, and I remember absolutely loving every second, and going to see all of the Mighty Booth shows and everything. We'd be there like front row every time watching you. So what's important for people to remember, because I think there's a lot of stuff now, especially with like social media, which is all about like this instant success and this instant, like, you're going to become a band and you're going to be famous right away, or you're going to be releasing your album right away, or you're going to be suddenly dragged on a support act with somebody. What's the important part about kind of being in it for the long term, kind of grafting your way? Is there any advice for that?
Well, we've done that. We have, like we started in 2008 and we released our first album.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like maybe it works for some bands to get like shot straight away, but I find that all the artists that are still going to be around in a few years have been around for a few years before. Yeah. Like, it's about longevity, and I think they say that you need to do 10,000 hours in anything to be good at it. And I feel like playing live experience is great. Just no matter where you can, go to an open mic, go to a jam night, just get a gig, supporting someone. Just like, the more times you can get out and play live, it's just, you perfect the craft. Even if you're doing like covers, playing someone's wedding, whatever. Just like, it's experiencing an audience, and that is always just invaluable. But yeah, for me, I wouldn't change that lottery winners took so long in development and to get to where we are now, because it felt like it was like training.
Yeah.
Although I do feel like maybe I'm a bit old now, and I wish I was like.
No, you're not.
But it was all training, and now we're ready, like actually ready, and we've got so much material. like ready to go. So
Oh, that's amazing. That's really cool to hear that, because I think there is a lot of that kind of with social. I know myself with social media, things can seem so like quick, and there's so much work that goes into music and a band's journey and stuff, and people sometimes forget that there's so much that goes into it.
yeah, 100%. I
It's
mean,
not
social media is good, but it only paints one side of a picture. And
exactly. It's
I
not
mean,
real.
people always want to portray themselves as successful, so you need to bear that in mind. People don't put the bad things on social media.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's always just a version of what people want you to believe, what you read on social. Even ours, we don't post the bad stuff. We just
Yeah.
post the good stuff. So
Yeah, it's like a highlight reel, isn't it, for people? It's like
of course,
the good bits. Right, so I want to talk about these.
yeah,
Woo. Can I ask you first about the picture on the front?
yeah.
Because I love dogs so
Me
much.
too.
And when I saw this, I was like, oh my Jesus, could this be any better than there's dogs on the front of it? So what's the story behind this?
Well, I wanted to do because I've always felt like we were a bit of like an underdog band, always just
Oh,
like struggling and trying to. So we're this is Kate's dog. Kate, who plays bass in the band, Lily. And she's like really scabby and weird and ugly, and she's got an underbite. So I thought that was like us. And then these are like the bigger, scarier dogs. So that was the original idea for the cover. And then a few people have been like, "Oh, is that meant to be the band members?"
right.
But I don't know, not really. But to get it, like we that was the first picture we took. There's no Photoshop or anything. We just put like a pink background up. We got the dogs in the room. And then that was the first one that we took. But we just had some cheese down there where the logo is. And that's how we got them to do it. And I love it. I think it's a great cover.
It's so effective. And the pink as well. The pink color is like it's so vibrant. It's lovely.
Yeah, thanks. I thought I was a genius with just making everything pink, doing some branding.
No, pink is great. Pink's underrated. I'm a lover of the color. Well, not even a color, is it? Black. Black is the thing, but pink.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. So the album then, highlights from creating that, getting him, how was it like 2 years you were recording it for?
Pretty much, yeah. It was great. I had the best time ever.
Wow.
We went to all these incredible recording studios. We went to Rockfield, where like Bohemian Rhapsody was recorded, and so that was a massive for me to be there as the Queen fan. And Oasis's albums were recorded there as well. So it's like, it started coming back round and coming back together. And I just felt like ethereal there. Just felt like, oh my God, like this is, if I could die today, and I'd be really happy that I've managed to get here. And went to Abbey Road, just like it was a great time because I really love our producer as well, Tristan. He's such a close friend now. So we just had a great time. We just go into the middle of nowhere with no one around us, turn our phones off and just be there for a few weeks. And it was just great. I loved it. I want to do it all the time. I hate people.
So what's kind of been happening with the album? I know that I saw on your live stream the night you were getting people to listen to it, and was it going to be on the charts?
I don't know what I said on the live stream. I'm very excited. But yeah, no, it's gone down really well actually. I'm really, really chuffed with the response from it. Obviously it charted, which we never expected.
That's what I was getting at.
So it reached number 2 in the iTunes charts, which is massive. And it went in at number 10 on the official charts, which I just, it was in there higher than Queen. So, which was released a long time ago.
Oh, amazing.
But it's been a mad time generally to release an album throughout this time because we should have been on tour now.
Yeah.
And so obviously that's been sad, but we've just found ways to adapt. And people are like, every time we receive a social media tweet or whatever, people listening to it, that just makes my day. And as far as Japan and places like that, people are sending me pictures of the album in Japan. I'm just like, oh my God, like Louis Theroux sent a picture of him with it, and like I'm a massive fan of Louis Theroux, so it's a crazy time. But yeah.
But but your music is bringing so much happiness to people in a time where
Apparently so. That's what people are saying. Surely
yeah,
they're just being nice, but
no, not at all. It's honestly, it's it's like a feel good, vibrant like record, and I've personally loved listening to it. So
thank you.
I'm chuffed for the four of you. It's great.
Thank you.
Um, Somebody's asked a question which is quite an interesting one, and I wonder if you'd be interested in answering this. They've asked, how much has your identity as a northern band had an impact on your career? Which I thought was quite an interesting question to ask, being from the north.
Yeah, I feel like a lot. It would have been easier if we all lived in London.
Right.
Most of the industry is in London.
Yeah.
99% of the industry is in London. So if you've got a really good following and you're northern, and you can put on a gig to 500 people in wherever you're from in the north, but you can't do that in London. You are never ever going to get the industry people down to that northern gig. So I feel like that does affect all of us.
Yeah.
But if you talk about identity of the band, I think it helps, especially with our sound and the heritage of like Manchester music. I think you kind of do get put into a bit of a bracket, but I think we've got this reputation of being like cheeky northern, or especially me. So I suppose it helps. We don't really try and play up to it, but it's inevitably going to happen.
You feel good. It's like all the times I've come to see you guys, it's just you feel better after watching you. You could go stand in front of you and be like, oh, I feel absolutely awful today. After that set, you are not feeling bad about yourself.
Oh, really? Thank you.
Oh, that is always the thing that I always remember and feel whenever I see you guys perform.
Oh, thanks. I love looking around and seeing people smiling and laughing, because you can't have a bad time if you're smiling and laughing. So.
Not at all. And you yourself as the front man then, you've got a lot of energy and really work the crowd and stuff. Have you got any advice for people that are trying to kind of get their own sort of on stage persona coming and stuff? Because that can be quite tough.
Yeah, it can. And I struggled with that for a long time. Just because I used to get so incredibly nervous just before I went on stage. I used to throw up every time.
Oh, right.
Every time. Even before all those gigs that you saw me at.
Wow.
I would throw up, definitely, just before we went on stage. Every time, because I was so nervous about it. That's kind of like gone a little bit now. And my thing is, I just like tap into this character. It's not even me. It's not the same guy you go for a drink with in the pub or whatever. And I feel like just allow that to happen, and just let go of, just try. I know it's very easy to say, but just let go of those insecurities and just do it. Just let it go, and you will be so liberated.
Yeah.
People will be so much more engaged with somebody who stood there with no self-doubt and just like, I'd rather watch someone that was annoyingly arrogant and just like, oh, this guy's, than someone who was like really shy and meek, I think, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just go for it. Just do it. Grab it.
Yeah, grab it, get into it, because I think you can cause yourself so much like hassle and stress by just overthinking it all.
Yeah, 100%.
By just thinking, oh, everyone's going to think I'm this, people are going to think I'm being like this, people are going to not like me if I do that, or think something about me. You just think.
But that's natural and that's normal to think those things, and I think those things all the time, and I think as creative people we're all kind of susceptible to feeling that way a lot. But yeah, you've got to find the way to just let it go, even if it's just for 30 minutes, and then after it you can go, oh God, did I say that? Oh God.
Lock yourself in the bathroom and not talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. That's some great advice too. Right, so we're coming towards the end now, so I cannot thank you enough for all this time.
My pleasure. I've enjoyed speaking to you. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute.
Yes, it has. Right, so you kind of covered the ones about on stage stuff and doubting yourself, so great. This is a question I like to ask because I think it's interesting to hear the answer. So if 15-year-old Tom was going to watch this interview with Thom Rylance from the Lottery Winners, successful band, just released their album, What would you want him to hear?
I've thought about this myself actually because
Right.
I think this is important that um, sometimes when things are going well, you can get wrapped up in it a little bit, and you never celebrate the goals and the achievements because you're always hungry for the next thing.
Right.
And I know I'm not answering your question directly, but I think it's important to recognize your achievements, not overly, don't bask in them, but recognize your achievements. Because for a long time I was like, oh, it's not going well, and I'm at Glastonbury and we're playing there, and I'm like, oh, but it's not. And it's like you've got to recognize those achievements. So what I'd say to him is, stop eating,
Right.
start going to the gym, make the most of that hair because you're not going to have it for very long. Stop messing with it, and just it's all going to be okay. Don't get so stressed.
Yeah.
Don't get so stressed about the tiny things because although it's important to care about the details, you care too much. That's what I say to myself.
Right.
Let it go.
Brilliant. Perfect. Yeah. Thinking too much. Definitely, I could say it to myself too. No.
Yeah, I've got a tattoo on my leg called "Overthink Everything." Well, it's not called that. That's what it says. It'd be weird if it had name. But
Cool.
yeah, because that's what I do, and so I try not to do that anymore.
Yeah. Let go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let go.
Like you do on stage a bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. So we have a thing that we do every week, which we're now doing online during lockdown, where people share their song of the week that they've been listening to a lot, or an
Okay.
artist they like. So would you like to contribute to that and give us a song to go and listen to?
Yeah, the Hubbards. It's called Body Confident, and that is one of the. They're my favourite band at the moment. They're a band called the Hubbards. They're from Hull.
Right. Okay.
They're great.
Right. We'll check that one out, guys. And also make sure that you go and stream it. Follow
Do
them.
it. Spotify numbers are killing it at the moment. Go and help.
Yes, do it, guys. You will not regret it at all. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And stay safe and look forward to seeing all the things that you're creating in lockdown.
I'm doing loads.
Awesome.